Hi, I'm Kaylee with the Clearview Library District, and thank you for joining us for Take It and Make It Tuesday. This week we have another really fun craft that was put together for us by Kelly Decor. So you should have all had a chance to pick up your kits. So to start with, I'm just going to go over the supplies that you should have in there. So we've got our stencil to start with that shows you what we're making this time around. So a really cute pumpkin design for fall. And then you've got your block of wood that we went ahead and pre-painted white for you. But you can paint over this any color you'd like. Just want to make sure that the paint is totally dry before you put your stencil over it. And then we've got just a paintbrush, a safety pin, and 3 different colors of paint. We did orange, green, and brown for your pumpkin. But if you want to use your own paint, you can definitely do that. This is just acrylic craft paint, so anything like that should work fine. And then you'll also have a list of instructions and also just a little bit about Kelly Decor as well. So to get started, our first step is going to be to attach our stencil to our block of wood. And Alexis Kelly, who runs Kelly Decor, made a nice video for us showing how to attach this stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that and let her show you the best way to do that.
All right, I wanted to show you how to remove the stencil. So you rub it, and it makes it easier if you rotate it down. All right, so you get a corner, and you want to make sure that all of the blue pieces stay down and that none of them are on this white section. So you're gonna peel it, and if you get to a point, so see how my little A piece, it's not sticking down. I just go and I just add a little bit of pressure, and see that didn't work either. So you can kind of help it by flattening it. If you can see that, flatten it, and then just kind of peel it away. This is really good to do with stencils that you have that have a lot of words on it, especially the smaller they are, the harder it kind of gets. So you want to be able to, you just use the force to be able to pull it as you go, and you want to make sure that there are none there. Just like that. Then you flip it over and line it up till it looks good to you. If you want, you can always, if you have like a ruler, you can always measure and make sure that one side measures the same as the other side. Then once it looks good, then you take this is where you'll use your credit card. All right, and then now this is where you're going to take this off. So you don't want it to stick like that. You want the blue to stay down. And then you have it, and I usually will lightly run this over it just to make sure that there's no air bubbles or anything, so that when you paint that it won't bleed underneath. So that's how you put your stencil on.
All right, so we should all have our stencils attached like that. And I did notice when I was putting mine on that because of all these little kind of details and curlicues in the design, I did have to press down really hard on all those parts to make sure that they didn't come up when I was peeling my stencil off. So just a tip for that. But I got mine on there. So the next step is just to start the painting part. And this is where you can kind of get creative if you would like to pick your colors and anything like that that you want to do. So I have my paint here ready to go, and what I would recommend, what I normally do with these, is to do 2 thin coats of paint instead of 1 thicker coat, and that helps so there isn't any bleeding through the stencil, and the lines are crisper that way. And then I just make sure that in between each coat the paint dries really well too. And then you can do more coats than that or less, just kind of depending on the look that you're going for with this. So we'll go ahead and do that next, and then we will let that totally dry, and then we'll peel our stencil off. All right, so we'll get started on that. All right, so got mine all painted. My paint's totally dry on there, so now I'm ready to go ahead and take the blue stencil part off. So all I'm going to do is just slowly peel it from one corner to the other. But all these little tiny pieces kind of in here that aren't attached to the main stencil are not going to come up when I peel this off. So I'm going to take my safety pin and just use this to kind of start the corners of the little pieces and peel those off once I've got the main stencil off. And then we'll take a look at how it looks when it's all done. All right, there we go. I've got my stencil all taken off and I got my pumpkin done. I do have a few little lines like kind of up here that aren't quite as crisp as I would like them to be, so I might go back through and just kind of touch those up a little bit. But basically, we're all done. So there you go. Hope you had fun. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is just Kaylee, K-A-L-I, @clearviewlibrary.org. Be happy to respond to any questions, and I always love to see your finished products as well. So if you want to shoot me an email with a picture of that too, I always like to see those. So thanks for joining us, and I hope you had fun. Good night.